Hello guys, this is a trade of the day. I'll be going over today's trade that I made on Wednesday, March 1st, 2017. As a reminder, this video is for learning purposes only. Alright guys, so I actually want to go over missed opportunities for today. Now I did make a trade on DVAX, but I actually closed it because it did not do what I was expecting. But it held support and then it did what exactly what I was looking for. But so I kind of want to go over and explain what happened and for the next time where I could um, take advantage of that opportunity and I guess take the trade. So DVAX is actually what I call a breakout over some news. So it had a news catalyst, again above average volume over this range, and there's a gap fill right here. So if you guys see this little gap, there's a gap fill opportunity. So these are very high probability trades. Um, Especially when there's a huge catalyst and huge volume intraday. And it's also low float, 38 million shares float, and there was a high short interest, like 24.24% short interest. So when there's a lot of people shorting it, and then there's a catalyst, a lot of short sellers then start covering and buying into this to cover their short because they're losing money. So that's why this creates, I guess, an imbalance between buyers and sellers, and buyers and bulls end up winning, and that's why the stock spikes. So the reason why I was interested in the stock in the first place was because they had the peers news actually yesterday at night, and it traded this was what I call aftermarket highs. If you guys see this blue line, and then today in pre-market it actually broke over right here. So I did actually get in right here after it broke, and which is the right spot to kind of get in. And I was actually expecting for what I call a gap and go. For once the market opens, boom, just DVAX starts flying, which it kind of did that, but it took its time. So when the market opened, um, it did it did move up, but it started to kind of fade off, and I got a little nervous. You know what? This thing might fade off, so I sold out. But little did I know, a held aftermarket support right here. You guys can see that, and it reversed. It went above the VWAP, and then it started trending on the 9 EMA. So that's when I should have just actually added. So looking back, what I should have done, I should have just waited to see if after hours support was gonna hold, if not close the position, because I actually had my wrist um, based on what's called the um, support on the daily chart, which is over here in 540. So I had a lot of room of safety. I had a lot of margin of safety right here. So there was really not much to worry about in case it did start to flush up below, I guess you could say 590. But I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting this to kind of pull back to the support area and then bounce back. So I wasn't expecting that. I was actually expecting for right out of the gate, just like spike and go crazy. So that's why I didn't do that. But now in the future, understanding this type of setup and why it does that, I'm gonna look to see if it holds aftermarket support. If it holds aftermarket support and it bounces above the VWAP and 9 EMA, I'm actually gonna add. You know, Especially if it does break after market hours. Of course, I'm gonna open a position. Again, risk below support on the daily. And if it doesn't go, because usually some of these do go, I'm gonna wait to see if aftermarket hour support holds. And if this holds and it reverses and it starts trending, I'm actually gonna add and actually put my risk to below aftermarket support and go for that spikes, those pops, and then sell for 2 to 1 or more actually reward to risk. So this is a new setup that I'm actually trying out. So I am risking very low money. So I think this is something that I want to continue to do because I've seen this a lot. I've seen a lot of these low float stocks trading below 100 million shares with high short interest. Those things sometimes just fly. When there's a PR news or earnings breakout or earnings catalyst with high volume, those things don't look back. They don't even pull back. Sometimes they just fly. So that's the reason why I bought here because sometimes they don't even pull back and give you an opportunity to get in. So you kind of have to almost get in pre-market or right at the open when it breaks above after hours high. So that's the reason why I got in. Now, I guess in the future, if I do see these type of setup pulling back towards after hours high and holding, I am gonna first of all keep the trade and add if it holds support and starts reversing trending, and I'll increase my risk up to the after hour support. So that's I think it's gonna be a good setup because I've seen this a lot happen and I haven't figured out what is the proper way to trade it, but I think I got something going on now. So that is one. Now there's another setup, actually Weight Watchers. Um, this is actually an earnings breakout. Very very familiar trade that I trade a lot, but this is a different type of intraday setup. Now the reason why I was interested in this type of trade, again earning breakout over the 6 month high, high relative volume, low flow, 27 million shares. Now this was a high short interest, 67.92% short interest. So that meant there was a lot of short sellers covering this trade. So this thing was gonna spike. This thing was gonna do something. So I had, definitely this was the top of my watch list. So now let's look at intraday, see what happened. Now it did create an after hour top, but it didn't break it pre-market. So I actually had a stop to buy in case it broke it. Again, with my stop below the daily, the support on the daily chart, which is right here. Around 1615. If you guys look at the 1 year chart, you guys will see the top right here. Again, 1615 around that area. So again, I actually did have an order to buy on the break of after hours high, but I actually closed it. Now, why did I close it? Because it didn't go. It didn't go. It kind of just consolidated. It almost felt like buyers and sellers were fighting each other, and it pulled back. Now, it actually pulled back straight to the support area, um, which is very, very important, um, and this shows it has support, and this thing could go. So I shouldn't have never, I guess, canceled my opening position here. I should have left it on because this thing not only broke there, but actually it trended above that, to like a two to one reward to risk. But I should have entered. My first entry should have been right here after it held support, and it went and there's a spike above the VWAP, and it started to trend above the 90 EMA. Price started trending above the 90 EMA. That's where I should have entered my first position. And if it held and this thing broke out, I should have entered again and then sold over here for a 2 to 1 reward to risk. Now in this one, actually risk area should have been around the same spot. Risk right here. So my risk wouldn't have changed. It's still on the daily chart, but my entry again would have been around right here on my second entry on a break of this after hours high, and then I go and then sell up above here in this kind of area, to kind of see to get my 2 to 1 reward to risk. So hopefully you guys like this trade, the setup. Again, these are a little trickier because I was looking for kind of like a gap and go, gap up, break over after hours high, and then just go. Especially that it was a low float, below 100 million shares, and it was a high short interest. Now, it eventually did trend up. It did spike up, but it actually pulled back before it did that and pulled back straight to support. So those are very important levels to kind of keep in mind, and that's something I'm going to keep in mind for the future, to kind of get into this trade. Now these are new trades that I am trading, excuse me, new setups that I'm trading because I have seen a lot of these low float just running fast, and I'm trying to figure out the best way to kind of trading with low risk and high reward. So that's the reason why I am still trading. I'm still training on these trading with low risk, and still practicing on a lot of these setups. So hope you guys learned something from this video. If you like this video, please click like. If you have any questions and concerns, please make a comment. And if you want to see more of my videos, please subscribe to my channel. You guys will be hearing from me soon. Thank you.